Hi, it's Bobby with Sudden Admiral, one of Canada's largest realtors, and I got to tell you honestly, I love working for the brokerage that I work for. I take questions every week, and I try and do the best I can to give you an honest opinion of what I think and how I feel. So, one of the questions that came to me this week is, what can we do to save money? How can we make extra money so that we could afford to live in a house? And it reminds me of when my kids were small. I was on the 401 one day, and it was Saturday, and I remember looking at all these apartments, and I said to my kids, "What do you see?" And they said, "Daddy, I see nothing." I said, "No, take a good look and tell me what you see." And they looked at all these buildings and they said, "They're dark." And I said, "You're right. People are still sleeping." And I said, when I was a kid, we got up in the morning, we shoveled driveways, we washed cars, we did anything we had to do to make an extra buck. And I thought to myself, if a lot of people that are paying rent right now, if it was possible, and it isn't possible for everybody, but if it was possible, and they went out and worked one day on a weekend, even a Saturday or a Sunday, and it didn't matter what they had to do, okay? But if they could make another $150, $200 a day, and over the course of a month, it's an extra $800, and over the course of a year, it's $10,000, $12,000 a year. If that's what it takes to be able to save up enough money to put a deposit on a house, it's a sacrifice that many of us have had to make. And I did, and at first I regretted it, and I thought, my God, how can my parents make me do this? But the reality was, it was the best lesson of my life. I remember we had a neighbor of mine that everybody laughed at, and the kid delivered the Mirror newspaper. If I recall, it was the Mirror. And at that time, he had saved up over $10,000 before the kid was even in grade 5 or 6. And I thought, oh my God, if he can do it, so can I. So I went out and I got a paper route. Well, nowadays, this is what we need to do. And I believe that when you encourage those kids to take jobs that maybe nobody wanted to take or they were ashamed to take, maybe it was the best thing that their parents did for them, because those kids that learned to save a buck when they were 12 and 15 years old, or got paid 25 cents for making their bed or helping their mother or father do something around the house, open those kids up a bank account when they're 8, 10 years old. Put in $2 a week. At the end of the month, you got $8. At the end of the year, you got $100. Once they learn the value of $1, they will never look back. Those are the kids that years later go on to me and become successful. So, point taken. Thank you for the question. Happy to be here and share it with you. Keep well.